In this video, we're going to animate the concept known as sequence of returns or sequence of market returns. We're going to show you how to present this to your clients and prospects in two very simple Cifico animations. Speaking of which, remember, as a financial advisor, the more you learn, the greater the gap between you and your clients and prospects. They're not going to directly tell you they don't like a spreadsheet or a flow chart. They're going to tell that to you in other ways, and we want to prevent that. That's why we use Cifico, to reground us, to question ourselves, to present something elementary, a return to basics, something that's going to engage clients and have them share that experience with others, because it is different than a traditional flow chart or a spreadsheet. Here's the animation page. How did I get here? Well, in the past, if you've seen blue circles, that means life insurance. But these are green. This is our nest egg, simply means money that is not life insurance. Very general, very simple. And what I did is I spent maybe, 40 seconds on each of these circles. So in less than a minute and a half, I filled out a quick fact finder and pressed play, and here I am. This is an animation screen or a video. Like all videos, we have a player bar. This is the client's lifespan. You can see I fast forward to age 65. They're really 45, but I came to 65 because that's retirement. It's where the action is. So from 65, they'll age all the way out here to 100. This client does not have two different accounts. They have one account totaling $100,000, from which they have a desired goal of $5,000 a year for income for retirement. And you can change all the specifics, all the variables to, contour to your client's specific needs and wants. Now, we're going to have a difference between these two accounts. Again, it's the same account, just two different outcomes or two different paths. And the difference is that this one, as denoted by retire up, will get a sequence of returns that are positive, 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 and then slowly become negative over 15 years. This one will get the same numbers just in reverse. You'll get negative, 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 and then positive rates of return over the 15 years. So the sequence of returns, of market returns, are inverted. So let's see what difference that makes in retirement. So we'll press play. I'll slow this down to start. Retiring on an up market, +8. Retiring on a down, -5. Look at the balances. Now we're withdrawing the income that we need to survive. Again, they're not getting 10,000, two different accounts, one account, two different ways, but it's just totaling it for us. And we'll speed this up. So gradually over time, over the course of 15 years, from 65 to 79, this is that started out with positive rates of return will get negatives or red numbers. And this that started out with only red numbers, there it is slowly getting positive rates of return. And we can kind of go through this with stop motion. This is a good time to do that. So I'm going to go out back here to age 65. I'm going to press play and then hit this +1 to advance 1 year at a time for the client. Now watch, the greens are on the top, red growth rates on the bottom, retiring up, retiring down. Now they're starting to switch, greens on both. And now here at age 75, we've got the downfall of this account, or rather just the negative sequence of returns are taking place and the positives are here. And if we span out here to age 79, the last year, we can see that if we retire in a down market, we will probably run out of money because this circle is not going to support those 5,000s all the way out to age 100. So how do we stop that? How do we insulate ourselves from that? So now I have another tab up here and it's all set to go. I took, from this original one, I took the retire down, its original value at 65. I kept it. I want to keep the worst case scenario. And how did I get this life insurance policy? Well, I took a life insurance illustration file, placed it on the client manager, press play. I'm here. Life insurance policy. This is the death benefit, which dictates the circumference of the circle. This is the cash value, which dictates the blue growing inside the circle. And as you've probably guessed from the last animation, it only has one value, the green circle, and that dictates the circumference of the circle. In this animation, I will have already discussed how maybe this life insurance policy is more conservative, has guarantees, vests every year, doesn't have taxes, isn't hooked to the market, depends on what policy you put in its place. That's an animation for another discussion that you can have with your clients. So maybe you'll do this in 3 animations rather than 2, but you might start here anyway. So instead of pulling from this life insurance policy when it's getting its negative, from this nest egg, when it's getting its negative rates of return, we're pulling from the life insurance policy. So this is getting a negative rate of return, but we're not going to add insult to injury by selling those devalued shares and making withdrawals, creating income for ourselves in retirement. We're going to let the life insurance pull cash from it for our income needs, while this account, and I'm going for a little long view here, while this account begins to recover itself. So I'm going to speed this up as we go. This started with $100,000. and ended with about 35,000 around age 80 in the last animation. But because we've given it a break, it doesn't have to distribute, and the life insurance is making the distributions, filling in those income gaps, it's recovering nicely. And at this point, this is the last year, this policy will no longer make distributions, and now we can take money from this recovered, retire down market portfolio that has about $69,000 more than it originally started with. Certainly a lot more than the $35,000 it would have had at age 80 if we did not have this blue circle. And of course, you could probably imagine at age 90 maybe shutting off the green circle and then having the blue circle sort of fill in. So as we zoom out here, we have this sort of wonderful symphony of these different assets kind of interchanging as to, what part in your life they distribute income. While one needs to recover, the other one takes over. Things like that. So you can do a lot of great stuff with it. Of course, you always have the stats card to check in with. You can use that to kind of just settle things with your clients and talk a little bit more. This is a great way to present the difference of sequence and returns and why you want to have a life insurance policy to insulate if you retire on a down market. Beyond that, though, you can tell that I did this entire video in one take. It's not because I'm some great speaker. It's because animations like this help me prepare for cases and help me present naturally better to a client, or a camera in this case. Makes me more of an articulate speaker. And maybe this will do the same for you or the other advisors that you oversee. If you have any questions, reach out on LinkedIn. Till next time, good luck on your next meeting.